We don't have an offensive lineman going in the top 10 in our mock draft. And the last time that happened was in 2019. So it begs the question, are we right? Will there be an offensive lineman in the top 10 selected here in 2026?
Well, I don't know about you, but I am always right.
Very true.
Historically, I've always been right about everything I've ever said. But no, you know what? I actually genuinely, I'm gonna say like I 80% believe that no O lineman will be picked in the top 10. I feel like overall, it's kind of mm, like a weaker draft for O lineman. In this one, obviously, you got some good prospects, but I don't see a guy. I'd be like, okay, that's a guy who deserves to go top 5 or top 10. Because I think this is a very defensive heavy class. This is a very like there's so many good defensive prospects. I just don't see it with the teams that need an O lineman. Because there's definitely teams in this top 5 to 10 like that do. Obviously, Cardinals could use one, Titans could use one, Browns could use one. But when you look at the players who are around there in that range in these mock drafts, like I just feel like there's someone better each time that
Yeah.
they could take that would slot in more. So it's not that they're like bad prospects. I just think that the needs can be filled somewhere else. Like someone else can fill that need later. So yeah, no in the top 10.
When we were doing this mock draft, that was the question that we started asking from the Cardinals all the way down to the Bengals,
Yeah.
which was, is the best offensive line prospect a better fit, a better value pick, or a better player than the team that is currently selecting, or for the team that is currently selecting? And we just consistently said no for about 7 picks, and that's why I think I'm in agreement with you, and I'm standing by our mock draft. And I do think like the other scenarios that probably will happen outside of our mock draft uh, will only just answer this question and say no.
Yeah.
Say no that there won't be an offensive lineman in the top 10. The Cardinals was one that I was really thinking about early when we started looking at it. And I was like, man, they could really take, Francis Maui Noah here or something like that. And that could be a great pick. But we have them taking Arvell Reese. But if David Bailey's on the board, they're going with David Bailey or,
Yeah.
whatever. They're going with one of those two guys. They're going defense. Titans, I mean, you're going to pass up Jeremiah Love? I mean, on a lot of people's big boards, he's number one. Giants are in a very similar boat. I think that they would take Jeremiah Love if he was on the board. But if not, Sonny Styles. Maybe they even do go wide receiver. So you're looking at the top half, and then the bottom half is trade potential,
Yeah.
right? And 6 through 10, and I just find a better fit or better value, whether it's Ruben Bain to the Saints or to the Chiefs or something like that. I think consistently we ask the question and we just come to the conclusion that they're not going to be in a position to take an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about trades and stuff. Obviously, the big, team that's targeting trading to the top 10 is the Cowboys. I think we both agree if they were to do it, it'd probably be, with the Bengals at 10 or so. But even still, like, I don't see them taking an O lineman. Like, I don't think that if they are to
Exactly.
trade 2 first-round picks, like, there's no way that they would take an O lineman. That's the only way I could see an O lineman going in the top 10 is the Cowboys getting there early, maybe at 6 with the Browns, and they just do something like completely different that changes what everyone else is going to do. Maybe we could see like the Chiefs there taking O lineman or like the Bengals taking O lineman, but I personally don't really see a trade that early in the top 10. So I can't say yes to an O lineman going in the top 10.
Unless somebody tries to jump the Dolphins, because it seems like they're at 11, pretty much locked into taking potentially taking an offensive lineman. Francis Maui Noah would be that guy. I think for me, in my opinion, who they would take, but they could take a couple other guys.
Yeah.
Unless there's a team that tries to jump them and they get him at 10 or something, because I think we've both also recognized that the Bengals definitely could trade out of 10. Other than that, that might be the only scenario. But I mean, it's possible. It's not like impossible or just, unfathomable. And I do think you made a good point. If there is a team that does something a little bit different, we could see a run of these guys go, even though the class itself for offensive linemen isn't top heavy. Somebody
Yeah.
does something different, you got to adjust. in
Yeah.
the draft. I mean, you might want to stick to your guns. You might see another player fall and you take advantage of it, but you could get to a point where, hey, we really need an offensive lineman. Maybe there's two in the top, 13, but maybe, not in the top 10.
Yeah. Still first round picks, just, not there for sure. You talk a lot about Maui Noah. A lot of people have Spencer Fano at the top spot for the O lineman. Do you stick with Maui Noah there or Fano?
I think I do stick with Maui Noah, but I just covering Miami and just seeing him play all year and then having started pretty much every single game, I believe, in his college career. I think he entered, the game in his first game with Miami as a freshman and then held on to the starting position after that for the rest of the way. It's just so impressive. But regardless, if the team is going to take an offensive lineman, when I do look at it and I see the top three guys, I just don't know if I see any of them, comparing. And I also do think that they are close. I did just say a second ago where you could see none in the top 10, but you could see two in the top, 15 or top 13. There's going to be a run here in the mid-teens.
I agree. I would agree. I think when one goes, we're going to see three go in pretty quick succession. I mean, Fano, Maui Noah, I feel like it's a toss-up. I feel like Fano, has kind of maybe a smaller frame than Maui Noah, but Maui Noah doesn't have really the footwork, so I feel like you're kind of tweaking. We'll see. Obviously, that's not the question. I just kind of want to get your thoughts on it. It is crazy to think that it's been since 2019 that this hasn't happened. It is crazy to think.
It is a little bit wild because when I do look at the top of the draft, I mean, it's so defense heavy. I think that's what caused it, because even in the drafts that have been so quarterback heavy at the top, haven't had a year where it's there's no offensive lineman taken in the top 10. Usually it's those quarterbacks and then edge rushers. But now we have what we both think is maybe a potentially weak wide receiver. First round class, we were thinking two of them were going in the top 10. So, I mean, we were looking at it from majorly from a team needs perspective, but maybe from a big board perspective, we could be surprised a little bit. I think maybe a team really does like one of these offensive linemen and they're like, plug and play.